Not all fairy tales have a happy ending, and such is the case for my next Halloween tutorial for Little Dead Riding Hood. I do hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and let's get started. I began this makeup by mapping out the wolf's claw marks, and to do this I used my alcohol activated Endura palette from European Body Art. I used the lighter red shade to sketch in the shape and then filled in the rest of the wound with the red. To create the raised ripped skin around the claw marks, I'm going to be using 3rd Degree, which is a 2-part silicone modeling compound. Feel free to use nose and scar wax for this in place of the 3rd Degree if it isn't available to you. And I do like to work in small batches with 3rd Degree, otherwise it will set too quickly and you're not going to be able to get the details that you want. So I like to mix up a tiny bit and then I begin to apply it around the edges of the wound. Now I do like to use a double-ended metal spatula for this. You can find these on Amazon, and what I'll do is I'll apply the 3rd Degree with one end of the spatula and then blend it out with the other end of the spatula. Before the 3rd Degree sets completely, you want to take a damp pointed Q-tip and roll it along the edges. This is going to help the 3rd Degree blend down into the skin. It's also going to cut some of the shine of the product. Also at this stage, you want to dab a sponge onto the 3rd Degree to give it a bit of texture. Otherwise, the product's going to look very smooth and shiny, and I'm using a black stipple sponge for this. I sped this portion up, but you want to continue to outline the wound in small sections until you've created edges around the entire piece. And remember to keep using that Q-tip and sponge to create a more realistic texture. The insides of the claw wounds are not going to be smooth, so you want to add a jagged texture by adding a little bit more of the 3rd Degree inside the wound. For the beauty portion of this makeup, I wanted to keep it pretty simple. If you do want to add a smoky eye, I think it would be really nice. Just, feel free. It's Halloween after all. And I started by defining my eyebrows with a brow powder. Next, I applied an eyeshadow primer, then I swept a layer of a matte skin tone eyeshadow to the lid. To define the crease further, I added a little bit of a medium matte brown eyeshadow, then I curled my lashes and applied mascara. My foundation today is Colorstay from Revlon, and I applied it using a pointy brush. I find these pointy brushes can get into small areas when you need them to. And when I was working around the 3rd Degree wounds, I just lightly dabbed the foundation onto the 3rd Degree. Now we're going to set everything with powder. This is also going to help cut the shine of the 3rd Degree. Time to get back into the wound. We're going to use the darker red from the Endura palette to define the edges of the claw marks. This step is really going to sell the depth of the wound. Another good trick I like to use is to extend the paint beyond your 3rd Degree edges. If you have any visible edges that you weren't able to blend down, for instance, this technique is going to trick the eye into not seeing those edges. So it's a really nice little trick to have in your arsenal. Now I'm going to go ahead and invite my friend Q-tips to the party, and I love using this technique. Basically, I take an alcohol-soaked Q-tip and a little bit of red and add irritation around the wounds. This method is going to give you a very nice diffusion of color. Now comes the best part, the blood adding stage, and today I'm using Bloody Marvelous's thick liquid blood in dark. This blood is really awesome. It has gelatin in it, so it has some substance to it, so it's nice and thick and gross and perfect for this tutorial. And I just applied that using a brush. I like to squirt out a little bit on a palette and then apply it to the wound. I also decided to add some wound filler gel, and this is Congealed Clot. What a great name, Congealed Clot. Ugh, nasty. But it's just kind of like a paste that adds a little bit more texture inside of wounds. And finally, at this stage, it's kind of about tweaking and twerking what you have. I never thought I'd say twerking in a tutorial. Anyway, you can add blood around the neck, you can add blood to your hair, which ended up getting in my hair anyway, just to sell the look and to really complete it. And she lived unhappily ever after. I hope you guys enjoyed Little Dead Riding Hood. It was a bloody good time. And the costume, if you're wondering, is from buycostumes.com. If you did have a bloody good time with Little Dead Riding Hood, please give this video a thumbs up and join me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more. Otherwise, happy Halloween, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.